Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Golden State Warriors remain the only team in the league that hasn't made any moves this offseason. This is making fans nervous. The signing of elite shooting guard Malik Monk is being suggested. Warriors named favorite to acquire Kings' $77 million guard amid ongoing trade rumors by Nathaniel Holloway. Athlon Sports updated August 4, 2025, 8:10 p.m. The Golden State Warriors have had a quiet offseason thus far as they have failed to make any additions to their roster outside of the second round of the 2025 NBA Draft. Of course, the Warriors are still awaiting a decision by restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga, who could be on the move after falling out of Steve Kerr's rotation last season. Despite this, there has not been a ton of outside interest for Kuminga this summer, and for a team to acquire him, they would have to pull off a sign-and-trade with the Warriors, which is easier said than done due to their high asking price. Golden State Warriors forward Jonathan Kuminga, 0-0. Jesse Johnson. Main images. Jesse Johnson. Main images. One team who has been linked to Kuminga this offseason is the Sacramento Kings, and a player they could include in a trade for the young forward is Malik Monk. Because of this, Bovada has the Warriors as the favorite, plus 250, to land Monk from the Kings in a trade this offseason. Golden State is followed by the Los Angeles Lakers, plus 300, Detroit Pistons, plus 500, and Toronto Raptors, plus 650. To acquire Monk this summer via trade. For the Warriors, adding Monk would be a solid addition to their roster, as he would bring a massive scoring boost to their rotation, likely off the bench. The 27-year-old guard averaged a career-high 17.2 points per game last season, and he also averaged a career-best 5.6 assists per game after he became Sacramento's starting point guard following them trading De'Aaron Fox at last season's trade deadline. Because of this, Golden State may show interest in Monk in a potential deal for Kuminga due to his scoring upside, which was an issue for their second unit last season. Monk could also start games alongside Stephen Curry in the backcourt if Kerr sees that as a great fit, as the Warriors look to chase another title next season behind their star trio of Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. NBA Insider says Warriors' chance of landing 30-point-per-game NBA champion is alive. The Golden State Warriors have been keeping tabs on the NBA stars who might ask for a trade. Just like they did with Jimmy Butler when he asked out of Miami, the Warriors are trying to keep their options open in hopes that another star will want to join Stephen Curry in Golden State. It's no surprise that one of the biggest names linked to the Warriors' trade rumors has been Giannis Antetokounmpo. Every team in the NBA, besides the Bucks, is hoping that Giannis will ask out of Milwaukee and become available on the trade market. The Warriors are no exception. They've reportedly been interested in trying to trade for Giannis for years, potentially to their own detriment. Now, an update on the chances of a Giannis trade request has brought new life for the Giannis Warriors rumors. Shams Charania of ESPN recently reported on the possibility of a Giannis trade this offseason. Sources tell me there is nothing set in stone about whether Giannis Antetokounmpo wants to stay in Milwaukee or whether he wants to leave elsewhere. He's been evaluating his future this entire offseason. I reported, he's open-minded about whether his best fit is in Milwaukee or is it a trade elsewhere. That process has been continuing. For Golden State, this means there is still hope for a Giannis Warriors trade. It is probably still unlikely. Unless Giannis names the Warriors as his preferred trade destination, there are multiple other teams that likely will be able to outbid the Warriors' offer for Giannis. Hope, however, is real. The Warriors may continue to try to keep cap and roster flexibility on the off chance that Giannis does become available. Whether this is a mistake or not remains to be seen. However, if keeping their hopes alive for Giannis ends up allowing them to land him, it will all be worth it. The 6'8" big man has had quite the career, and although he isn't what he used to be, he can still be an impactful player. He has averaged 16.2 points per game in his career, impressive when you think about his production the last couple of years and how it lowered that number. Love's last real chance to be impactful was in Miami a few seasons ago. In his prime, he was an automatic 20 points and 10 rebounds, and quickly gained the ability to stretch the floor later in his career. If he were to end up in Golden State, he could help the team compete for a championship. Back in Cleveland, he was LeBron's partner in crime alongside Kyrie Irving and played a pivotal role in their comeback in the 2016 NBA Finals. Golden State has struck out so far this free agency, but that shouldn't stop them from going out and getting a valuable player. Jonathan Kuminga likes Suns, but hurdles could ice a Warriors trade. There is a mutual interest between the Phoenix Suns and Jonathan Kuminga, but there's very little chance, if any, the athletic Golden State Warriors forward will end up in Phoenix, league sources informed the Arizona Republic this week. Kuminga, 22, sees Phoenix as an opportunity to play a major role on a team built around Devin Booker, as the Suns have been in contact with his agent, Aaron Turner. However, Golden State hasn't shown interest in what the Suns could deliver, league sources have informed the Republic. The Sacramento Kings and the Suns have been in high pursuit of Kuminga. The Warriors could entertain a sign-and trade, but there are first tax apron concerns. With the outgoing salary counting as only 50%, the Warriors are likely hard-capped in a sign-and trade. Say Kuminga agreed to a deal paying him $22.5 million the first year. The Suns were reportedly willing to deliver a 4-year deal for $90 million, even though league sources have informed the Republic the offer isn't that high. The Warriors could take back only $11 million in salary. Forward Royce O'Neal is scheduled to make $10.1 million this season and 7-footer Nick Richards is due $5 million. Golden State has always valued shooting, and O'Neal shot a career-best 40.7% from 3 last season. The Warriors also have a need at center. Golden State has extended a qualifying offer of $7.9 million to Kuminga. The two sides could agree to a new deal, but Kuminga has desires to continue his career elsewhere. ESPN reported last week Kuminga turned down a 2-year extension worth $45 million that has a team option for the second year and doesn't allow him to maintain the built-in no-trade clause. From the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Kuminga was taken 7th overall in the 2021 draft. At 6'7" and 225 pounds, Kuminga possesses great athleticism, is skilled, but isn't an overall ideal fit in Golden State. He started only 10 games last season, fueling the idea Kuminga and Warriors coach Steve Kerr weren't always on the same page. "Since I've been here, we've had our ups and downs, but he helped me to get there," Kuminga said about his relationship with Kerr during a news conference after Golden State ended its 2024-25 season. "We had a lot of great moments. I think our relationship has been very good." A career 33.2% shooter on threes, Kuminga shot a career-low 30.5% from deep last season. He averaged 15.3 points on a career-low 45.4% shooting and 4.6 rebounds in a career-low 47 games. Kuminga missed 31 straight games with an ankle injury. He played only 3 games in the first round against the second-seeded Houston Rockets. The 7th-seeded Warriors won the series in 7 games, with Kuminga averaging just 6 points in the first round. Kuminga went scoreless in Game 7 on 4 shot attempts in just 7 minutes. The Warriors stunned Minnesota in Game 1 of the conference semifinals, but lost Stephen Curry to a hamstring injury. The Timberwolves took the next 4 games to win the series, but Kuminga, with increased minutes and scoring opportunities, generated career numbers. Kuminga averaged 24.2 points on 55.3% shooting in the final 4 games of that series. He scored 30 points to set a playoff career high in Game 3, connecting on 3 of 4 from 3. The Suns could easily open the season with a starting lineup of Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, Mark Williams, Kuminga, and Booker if they were able to land the athletic forward. Kuminga is a young talent who has great upside, but the Suns don't appear to have enough to offer in terms of assets and draft capital to entice the Warriors to trade him to them. Warriors' self-created Jonathan Kuminga nightmare will haunt them if rumors are true. This could be the worst-case scenario. As the Golden State Warriors have sought out a resolution to their Jonathan Kuminga saga this offseason, a plethora of options have presented themselves to push the team forward toward contention. Yet, as trade rumors intensify, Tim Kawakami of the San Francisco Standard has reported that the Warriors unequivocally plan on retaining Kuminga this offseason unless they can retrieve real value for him, and this could lead to a nightmare scenario next season. Although Kuminga seems willing to return to Golden State under the right conditions, his public strife with the team's coaching staff, and his questionable fit within the team's rotation, could spell real trouble. Jonathan Kuminga's return to the Warriors could be disastrous. As the offseason began, many suitors emerged for a potential Jonathan Kuminga sign-and trade, with multiple possible scenarios that would allow the Warriors to find an adequate return. Yet, as the offseason wore on, and the market cooled on restricted free agents, many of these suitors fell away. Now, with the Sacramento Kings as the lone team remaining that could provide the value that Golden State is seeking, it appears as though the front office is prepared to sit pat this offseason and wait for their opportunity to retain the dynamic young forward. The Golden State Warriors will not trade Jonathan Kuminga this summer and plan to have him on the roster next season. Warriors owner Joe Lacob remains a fan of Kuminga and will only move him for real value. Evidently, Sacramento's recent offer of Malik Monk and a 2030 unprotected first-round pick was not enough to entice the Warriors front office into moving on from their most prized asset this offseason. Joe Lacob, as well as most of the team's front office, have been noted fans of Kuminga since they drafted him, and it seems as though they still believe he can be a difference-maker within the organization. Yet, Kuminga's return almost creates more questions than his departure. As a non-shooter and relatively unskilled defender, it will remain difficult for Kuminga to play alongside players like Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler in the starting lineup. Yet, at the same time, Kuminga's public discontentment with a bench role as well as the fact that limiting his minutes would minimize his trade value down the line could force Golden State to give him more runway at the beginning of the regular season. Therefore, as long as the Warriors hold on to Kuminga, they are in line for a continuation of last season's turmoil. As the team attempts to maximize their chances within their self-constructed, two-year championship window, they can afford very few mistakes, and this could be the biggest one of the offseason. Warriors are waiting to absolutely fleece rival in Jonathan Kuminga trade. This could be the steal of the offseason. As the Golden State Warriors have tried to find a resolution to their Jonathan Kuminga conundrum this offseason, a serious suitor has emerged who could relieve the team of their worries. Yet, although the Sacramento Kings seem serious about providing value in a Jonathan Kuminga sign-and trade, the Warriors, according to NBA analyst Sam Vecenie, could be playing the long game in order to squeeze every last drop out of the incompetent Kings front office. Although a deal getting done sooner rather than later would likely be in Golden State's best interest, they can afford to wait given their considerable leverage in this situation. Warriors could potentially get a massive return from the Kings. As the offseason opened, many around the league thought that there would be considerable interest in a sign-and trade for Kuminga, especially given his scoring talent at such a young age. Yet, almost as quickly as various suitors were rumored to be interested, the market on restricted free agents froze around the league. Now, the Sacramento Kings, one of the most prominent players in the Kuminga pursuit from the beginning, have intensified their efforts, reportedly offering Malik Monk and a 2030 unprotected first-round pick in a Kuminga sign-and trade. While Sam Vecenie, on the Game Theory podcast, said that he would take this deal almost automatically, he also states a hypothetical: if I'm the Warriors, why wouldn't I hold out and just continue to do this? Why wouldn't I hold out for every single thing I want? Why wouldn't I hold out for Keon Ellis instead of Malik Monk? The Kings have shown a strong interest in Kuminga, essentially granting him his long-held wish of an extended runway and a contract to match what he feels is his potential. Yet, the Warriors, who drafted Kuminga and have developed him to this point, have all the leverage in the world to get the best return possible. Although there are currently no other serious suitors, it appears as though Kings GM Scott Perry wants Kuminga desperately. Perry, throughout his time at the helm of Sacramento, has made some questionable decisions, most recently trading De'Aaron Fox in a three-team deal that landed Zach LaVine in a questionable situation with the Kings. Now, as Perry attempts to add another score-first player in Kuminga, Golden State has the opportunity to extract as much value as possible, including perhaps a dynamic young player in Ellis, out of a rival organization.